In today's episode, equipped bench continues to be Russian roulette. Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Project Pilsen. I just finished up my equipped bench session for the week. Had a couple of great training partners in, a couple guys that have been in bench shirts for probably about as long as I've been alive. And it's always awesome to train with those guys. I think I worked my way up to about 230 or so, and everything felt like it was in the right spot. It was flying up off the chest. And then I jumped up to 245, which was sort of where I had planned to begin today's session. And my first single there, got the touch, missed the press. So I figured, whatever. I had a tough time with this last week, so hopefully I can clean it up and make a better rep out of it. So I took it down again, got the touch, missed the press. So it was a pretty frustrating day. I'm having trouble wrapping my head around what exactly it is that felt so good that first day when I crushed 240, and what started to fall apart last session when I barely made 245, and what I'm continuing to struggle with into today's session, where I actually missed 245 twice. Came down to 240, touched it, got a press, pretty sure my butt came up off the bench, so not super happy with that. And then finished off the equipped bench with 225 for a triple there. And that was an absolute 10. So I got to the point where my triceps just started giving out, and I kind of just had to pull my shoulders back in order to straighten my arms and pop my elbows open. So I mean, the biggest thing for me right now is to realize, I think mentally and psychologically, that I've been here before. Heading into Classic Worlds, my hip was an absolute mess. I've been in this position so many times, 5-6 weeks out from a meet, and something just feels catastrophically off. I kind of got to just trust the process, continue to try and gather as much information as I can, really analyze what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong. And I'm very confident that things will come together. I'm gonna dial it back a little bit next week on the weight. I'm gonna try not to worry so much about the touch, and just try to continue working with the shirt, finding the groove, learning the groove. It's one size down from what I used last training cycle, so I was expecting some difficulty. I guess I just kind of expected the difficulty to come earlier, as opposed to feeling so good and then getting not good. But such is shirted bench. Between that and my raw squat, I actually had to slap myself in the face to try and snap out of the funk that I was in. It's just kind of moping around, and my head was just really not in it, and kind of had to wake up and realize that there was more to do and I wasn't done yet. So wrapped my head around it, kind of got myself back on top, if you want to say that, and hit 272.5 kilos for my raw squat single, and it felt really good. I called it an 8. I'd say it moved like an 8, and yeah, that puts me in a really good spot with my raw squat right now. So looking to the future, where I'll be competing Classic again, it's really good to see my raw squat still progressing, still hanging out in that range. Hopefully by Classic Worlds, that'll continue to scoot along and feel really well. After that, did some raw deadlifts, and those felt exceptional. Deadlifts just felt really on point today. Felt like I was loading my back up properly, lockouts were clean, wasn't getting any hip pain at all. So, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, right? But so I think the biggest thing that I kind of want to stress to anybody watching is shit's gonna go wrong. And it's gonna feel crappy, and you're gonna get bummed out, and you're gonna get down on yourself and feel sorry for yourself. But the biggest thing you can do is just keep going. Don't quit. Find a creative way around whatever's holding you back in your training, and whether it's trying to learn a new movement, or whether it's a chronic injury you're dealing with, as long as you continue to try and take steps forward, it'll come together, and you're gonna get further than you are now. So yeah, I don't know, maybe this is a message to myself more than anybody. But so for question of the day today, we got a question from Ernest Carmichael, and he's actually asking about Dylan. Now, I think that Dylan is a guy who, because he's behind the camera a lot, doesn't get enough credit for the amount of work that he puts in and how well he does at making this channel so polished and making the production quality of these videos such a step above a lot of the other stuff that's out there. So this question is for Dylan, and Ernest wants to know what Dylan did or where he got so good and comfortable with videography and editing. So I'm gonna throw it over to Dylan and make him really uncomfortable by making him answer this question.
Actually, to be honest, I don't think I am good at videography. I always think all of my videos suck. I don't think I've liked a single video that I put out. There's maybe one. I like Jake's video from Nationals. I thought that was pretty cool. There's things I don't like about it, and I think that's the thing about videography or any type of art is you really don't like what you put out because you can see all of the flaws. So to give a little bit of background on myself, I went to school for 4 years for kinesiology. My plan was to get into physio, but I had a bunch of video projects within school that sort of changed the direction of what I wanted to do. I met Bryce in school. From there, we started making some videos. If you look back, some of the first videos we made were athlete profiles, and then from there, I talked to Bryce about doing some weekly videos leading up to Raw Worlds, which was I think 2 years ago. And literally from there, it just kind of took off because I was doing videos 3 or 4 times a week, and it was getting me into it and getting me to do it very frequently and very often. Much like working out, it sort of exploded my gains, I guess you can say, in videography or film. So the biggest advice I can give to anyone who wants to get into film or videography or whatever is to just do it. Don't worry about what camera you have or equipment or anything. You just have to do it a lot if you want to get good at it. And you have to actually really like it, otherwise it's not going to work out. Anyways, guys, that's it for today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.